Tennessee went into Pitt yesterday, what I am still calling Heinz Field until you, via court summons, stop me from it. And they beat Pitt 34-27. You needed to watch this one. You needed to see this one because it sounds like there was a nice, well-played back-and-forth affair, and then Tennessee just out-executed Pitt in the end, and that is not it. Tennessee was bad offensively. Tennessee was bad on special teams, and they won the game anyway. And I'm mildly surprised they did it, but they did it via a method that they could not have done it last year. That's the biggest takeaway here. Defense, print this headline, defense won Tennessee a game. How about that? They talked about their depth. They talked about how much better they were. Josh Heupel said, you'll see. I don't think this is how he wanted you to see it, but we did see. So hats off there. There were self-inflicted wounds all over the place. I don't know how many ways you can try and give away a game, but just go watch this yesterday and count them, because Tennessee explored every single one of them. Hendon Hooker was off. There were critical drops. There were all kinds of different ways that you could try and lose a game. They still won it. So if you listened Friday let me not say listened. If you looked at all the ways that Tennessee committed self-inflicted wounds in this game, if I showed you a list of all the things that happened, if you showed me that list, I would have thought Pitt was going to win this game by 3 scores. That's what I would have thought. So the fact that Tennessee still won the game is kind of mind-boggling to me. But they did. They won anyway. And the Pitt run game was largely held in check. They had a 76-yard run yesterday. It was kind of like the Bama run game. There was one long run, and then the rest of the game, they had one long run of 76. Pitt ran the ball 65 yards the rest of the game. So Tennessee's defensive front held up. Tennessee's defense owned the line of scrimmage. They had like 24 quarterback hurries. And Keaton Slovis was knocked out of the game, so you had the backup in for Pitt. It comes down to how many different ways you can win. A lot of times in this sport, that's what it comes down to. How many different ways can you win? And I know at some point this season, or at least I think I know at some point this season, like I said with Ohio State the other day, I think Tennessee will be able to win a game offensively. I think there's going to be a time where Josh Heupel can look at his offense and say, go win it for me. I think there'll be times this year where special teams are a strength for Tennessee. In the meantime, if it took that kind of performance for me to figure out they can win a game defensively, they're going to be all the much better for that. So I know it was ugly yesterday, but are there ugly wins for Tennessee right now, given what we've gone through recently? I don't think so. Keaton Slovis, like I said, for Pitt, was knocked out of this game. I don't know his status. I haven't seen an update there. Look, Pitt played a down-to-the-wire game in week 1. They played a down-to-the-wire game yesterday. I mean, you play that out 1,000 times. They're a 1-1 team. That's what they should be. You could say they could be 2-0, or they could be 0-2. They're a 1-1 team. They go to Western Michigan this week. They got Rhode Island, and then they really dive into conference play. It's a good team. Okay, we don't think that they're as good as the AP thought they were. We've had them ranked in the low to mid 30s. That's still where we have them power rated. And so there's a little step back that was going to be taken this year. I think they have taken a little step back. Really solid team, not a great team. I don't think they're going to contend for the ACC championship. But then again, that's relative to what the ACC is. Okay, I can't just sit here and say that in a vacuum. It's relative to what the ACC is, because it's still a good team. So if you just got a bunch of good elsewhere in the ACC, then never mind. Pitt can contend for it. But in the meantime, excited to see Tennessee be able to in an ugly game, do what they did yesterday. Guys, thanks for watching Late Kick. Make sure to leave a comment. I love interacting with you. But most of all, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. That's how we keep all of this free.